Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We are really glad to have you join us once again. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. And now the details. The nation's security agencies say there is no cause for alarm and urge Nigerians to go about their lawful businesses without fear of any kind. Foreign partners are also advised not to work at cross-post purposes by creating unnecessary panic in the country. This was the message after an emergency national security meeting called by President Muhammadu Buhari with security chiefs and the leadership of the Nigerian police, which focuses on the current state of security in the country. We will bring you details of that in the course of the bulletin. With the commencement of electioneering campaigns towards the 2023 general elections and the need to consolidate on gains made in the fight against insecurity, the Nigeria Police and its partners are consolidating on achievements recorded so far in handling security operations. Now, the Police High Command is meeting in Owerri, Imo State, to review strategies towards successful 2023 elections as well as ongoing internal security operations. Let's now move on. President Muhammadu Buhari has joined other world leaders in congratulating Brazil's newly elected president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, on winning a hard-fought, divisive runoff election. In congratulating the new leader on staging an astonishing comeback after leaving office and serving jail term, President Buhari said he hopes that Lula as president will further enhance the excellent relations between Nigeria and Brazil. President Muhammadu Buhari leaves for London, United Kingdom, today for routine medical checkup. Statement by the Presidential Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, indicates that the president will return to the country in the second week of November. Okay, now let's go back to our first story. The nation's security agencies say there is no cause for alarm and they urge Nigerians to go about their lawful businesses without fear of any kind. I told you earlier that our State House correspondent, Gideon Ifade, will bring us details.
There was a sudden feeling of insecurity among Nigerians in the last 1 week, especially among those residing in and around Abuja, due to the security advisory released by the American mission to its nationals residing in Abuja. The mission and other foreign partners have described the action as a constitutional requirement and not aimed to raise unnecessary alarm. But the president, not leaving anything to chances, summoned this emergency national security meeting. Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Rabo gives an insight into what transpired at the meeting.
There's no cause for alarm, and Nigerians should go about their normal duties as the armed forces and all the security agencies are well poised to protect them accordingly.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as the Nigerian Intelligence Agency have been working very closely and to fully get on top of the situation.
It's also important not to create panic within the country, as I mentioned earlier. That is the messaging, and so for us to work together, not to defeat the purpose of what we're trying to achieve, which is full security in our country, and for all of us to work towards that with our partners and with ourselves, and not to work at cross purposes. And of course, creating panic in our country will have all kinds of multiplier effects.
We will continue to engage our partners in the most constructive way we are indeed actually expanding, because this is the demand of the situation of the current times, to engage, to expand partnership, foreign partnership, and to work with countries, friends, associates, and to deal with situations, challenges that actually are not common to Nigeria.
First and foremost, assure all the citizens of this country that any exaggerated sense of insecurity, any hype about a disintegration of our security forces, intelligence agencies, is unfounded. I want to assure Nigerians that so far the situation has been under control. The intelligence and security agencies have made a lot of arrests.
That done with the foreign dimension, Nigerians are equally expected to take security of the nation as a duty and to report any strange actions that may lead to dire consequences to relevant authorities. At the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
More on security. In continuation of the onslaught against terrorist groups in the northwest, troops of 1 Division Nigerian Army on Operation Forest Sanity conducted clearance operation to some LOC government areas in Kaduna State, during which contact was made with terrorists. In the fierce encounter that followed, 4 bandits were neutralized, forcing others to flee in disarray. The troops recovered 2 AK-47 rifles with 2 rounds of 7.62mm special, 1 automatic pump-action gun with 3 cartridges, 6 Dane guns, 3 locally fabricated pistols with 1 9mm round, and 4 motorcycles. In a separate operation conducted by another fighting patrol team of 1 Division of Nigerian Army, troops along Sabon Birnin Zaltake, Ongwan Lima, Riyawa, and Tungan Madaki general area intercepted fleeing bandits from Kagi Hill. In the firefight that ensued, the troops neutralized 3 terrorists. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, and the General Officer commanding 1 Division, Nigerian Army, and Force Commander Operation Well Punch, Major General T.A. Lagbaja, have commended the troops for their gallantry and urged them not to relent until terrorism and other criminalities are brought to an end in the region. Following the failed mission of terrorists on 221 Battalion Cantonment Wawa, New Busa, Niger State, in the early hours of Sunday morning, combined efforts of the Joint Task Force and youths in the area have paid off. This is with the area arrest and dislodgement of some men, a few of them with gunshot wounds, who were apparently trapped in the woods and came out to look for food. Correspondent Kabir Abdullahi in New Busa reports that the terrorists who were arrested at different locations, including Gada Village, Oil Bush, were handed over to the military at Wawa Police Station. As at the time of filing the report, the Nigeria military is yet to make official statement to this effect. Addressing the current security challenges in the country requires collective approach and not just for the government. To this end, the National Vigilante Group is coordinating its members nationwide to always provide credible information to the security agencies. However, the group at its national conference is appealing for the presidential assent to the National Vigilante Bill to enable it to function effectively. Ismail Musa reports.
These groups, emerging from security concerns peculiar with the environments they operate, are not just seeking for recognition, but a defined role in the defense of the Nigerian state, intelligence gathering, local knowledge, and willingness to play the supportive role. For the success of the Nigerian troops is the spirit behind the call for presidential assent.
We lost virtually 2,000 members, 1,500 in the north and about 500 in the south. You can see some of their widows here. The federal government should come to our aid in that respect. This the National Assembly has been passed. What we are waiting for is the president to assent to the bill. That's what we are pleading to him. Before he leaves office, he should assent to this bill, please.
VGN is there to support the official security apparatus, and they are doing it very, very well. They know the ground, they know the environment, They know the people of their areas, and they can easily fish out criminals. So I think they should be accredited as fast and quickly as possible.
We are aware of the challenges of head office that you are facing. We are equally aware of logistic challenges in terms of vehicles that you are lacking. I want to assure you that we are going to support you fully towards acquiring a headquarters for your organization.
As a selfless combat organization, the 2022 conference is also drawing the attention of the public to support their mission and assist families of fallen heroes to assuage their plights. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
President Buhari's visit to the first Bio Summit in Seoul, South Korea, has come and gone, but the engagement is seen as strategic in boosting Nigeria's opportunities in vaccine production and the blue economy. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria reviewed the expected benefits of the summit. Ekene Dulwe reports.
The COVID-19 pandemic that ravaged the world in 2020 exposed global unpreparedness to deal with diseases of such proportions. Issues of vaccine inequality saw developing countries at the mercy of the developed world for vaccine supply. The first Bio Summit in South Korea, involving Nigeria with 5 other African countries, focused on enhancing disease control capacities.
WHO has already earmarked about 5-6 countries in Africa who will be able to use the new mRNA vaccine technology to be able to produce vaccines, not only now against COVID-19, but any future outbreak.
It was not just about vaccines. President Buhari was also able to secure partnerships with South Korea in repair of the Kaduna refinery, enhancing Nigeria's blue economy and exchange of technology.
We are now conducting a research to see and understand the types of vessels we need for our own coastal waters as well as inland waterways. Korea is one of the best countries that we have to approach in terms of investment, in terms of assembling these ships, in terms of technology transfer.
Have some who are also experts in drone technology. The president actually talked to them and they said they should come with initiative on how they can use the knowledge and the skills they've actually acquired in South Korea to apply to our situation back home in Nigeria.
Only 2 heads of states were in the summit, and I think it is strategic because once you heal whatever problem we are having in Nigeria, you have dealt with almost half of Africa.
Negotiations with South Korean partners over. Next is implementation. The guests are hopeful that the outcome will provide the much-needed respite for the Nigerian economy. Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The ECOWAS Sustainable Energy Forum 2022 has opened in Abuja with focus on building the structure for moving the sub-region from resilience to seamless energy transition. Kevin Ebonaye reports that the Renewable Energy Policy document of the Commission is up for assessment at the forum.
Renewable energy policy is an integral component of the ECOWAS Agenda 2030 on energy transition, which seeks to partly fulfill the regional commitment to climate change policy and also expand the energy mix to increase more access to clean and affordable energy for the region's vast rural population. The forum, being attended by experts from ECOWAS member states, will evaluate all the available options, with particular focus on how to increase investment in renewable energy and link private sector players in the sub-region with international funds operators to boost the sector. For Nigeria, the ECOWAS Renewable Energy Policy, expected to come on stream early next year, is coming at a time the country is fast-tracking its energy transition plan to tackle energy poverty.
While Nigeria led the charge in becoming the first African country to develop such a detailed energy transition plan, we know the captured ambitions are not unique to us. Though our contribution as a continent to global emission is insignificant, it is clear that we remain committed to limiting emissions even as we develop, for example, by increasing the share of renewable energy in our energy supply mix.
To date, only half of ECOWAS citizens have access to modern energy service. Hence, they are constantly deprived of the full benefit of electricity for socio-economic development.
The two-day forum will also examine the implementation status of the National Energy Efficiency Action Plans in the building and industry sectors in ECOWAS member states. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebunwaye, NTA News.
If the global system wants to truly empower women, ICT programs must address gender and class-based barriers to women's access. This was the position of women on the sidelines of the 2022 African Women Conference in Banjul, the Gambia. Adebola Brooklyn reports.
It is an established fact that science, technology, and innovation are key drivers of the increasingly global and digital society. The African women said less than 30% of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics professionals are women, and that with the inequality persisting through the 21st century, the need for diversity, equity, and inclusion of women in STEM is there.
I believe a woman with a laptop is more powerful than a man with a gun.
The best way to infuse tech is to start at the grassroots and introduce people to tech in the most simplest form, and they will adopt it and pass it on.
Women are not only an integral part of society, but they constitute the productive base of our economies.
No matter their gender, it is my hope that everyone plays an agent of change.
Although some African leaders have identified ways to use ICT in the promotion of gender equality and women empowerment.
We've gotten a lot of positive feedbacks, and people are responding and letting us know that this new medium is actually working for them, and they are happy with what President Muhammadu Buhari is doing for the country.
It's also up to the women to get out there and seek. Don't just fold your hands and wait for things to come to you.
The women stress that unless the gender divide is specifically addressed, there is a risk that ICT may exacerbate existing inequalities between women and men and even create new forms of inequality. From Banjul, Adebola Brooklyn, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday expressed heartfelt condolences to the government and people of India following reports that at least 151 people have died after a British-era bridge in Gujarat's Morbi collapsed on Sunday evening. Apart from those that died, 177 of the 500 have been saved, and teams are searching for several others who are still missing. We now go to our Lagos Zonal Center, where Michael Olaleye is standing by with more stories. Michael? (177) Go to our Lagos
between Africa, particularly Nigeria, and the European Union is set to go a notch higher with the launch of a partnership campaign to equip young Nigerians with functional digital skills. EU Ambassador to Nigeria and ECOWAS, who disclosed this in Lagos, described the campaign as a demonstration of the Union's belief in the potential of Nigerian youths. Adinita will post.
To the world, she is a popular music act with many hit tracks under her belt. Unknown to many, however, is the fact that Tenny Akpata is a commercial farmer, a venture that gets much of our attention as music.
There's capacity, there's human force, there's workforce, and we have good soil to grow these things. So what is the problem? Education, educating people, helping them, giving them the support.
A success in agriculture, along with that of a few others like Frederick, a 32-year-old shoe manufacturer, and Ogola Kange, a food processing entrepreneur, is the inspiration behind this partnership campaign launched by the European Union to facilitate a quantum leap into a digital future for Nigerian youths.
And if with the right environment,
with the right skills, with the right help, you can make it. You don't need to go to Europe or elsewhere to change your life, to change your life of your community. It is possible to do things here in Nigeria. That's the message.
Dubbed We See Africa, the campaign targets youths within the age range of 18 to 25 years old who will get digital skills from online course content created by ambassadors for the campaign.
The world is becoming very innovative, and so digital courses have become very important in our society and communities at large. And so it's important that we also train youths and young people, beyond basic school.
For us, it is about more people doing their little things in their little corners and doing it well. If you see some of our products, you'll be amazed that they are made in Nigeria, and that's what we want to see.
Training and financing are all part of the Africa EU campaign, which runs simultaneously in Nigeria, Cameroon, Congo, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. In Lagos, Adeni Itewo, NTA News.
Commuters in Lagos are pleading with concerned authorities to resolve issues that led to a strike by Lagos commercial bus drivers. Anidano supports that the action has brought much suffering on the passengers this Monday, which signals the commencement of the 7 days down tooling.
On a normal day, Obalende would have been very busy and noisy with commercial buses all over the place. The story is different today.
All those buses was complaining that the kind of money that the Agro take from them is too much. Then I will pay this one, you pay this one, you pay this one.
If you are in a bus, if you pass a particular place, you see they will stop, and they will give them money. And if you still come back and pass, and every time they'll be like, I passed there, I've given them money. You say, no, you still have to pay.
Pray that they don't go on strike.
This, of course, has brought untold suffering on Lagosians, most of whom depend solely on the services of these danfo to get to their destinations daily.
I was late to school and I was even flogged. I missed something that, like, information that was given on the assembly ground.
If you calculate all those money, you will see that you are moving without no money. So you would like to carry high price so that you can cover yourself.
Only few shuttle buses, popularly called Korobe, were around, and the chairman says it is because they are regulated. Even with that, commuters are not sure what would happen next at the close of work today and days to follow. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, Nationwide continues from our Sokoto Network Center, where Sadia is standing by.
Think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Have you joined us in Sokoto? Sokoto Police Command has arrested Nasiru Idris of Sabanduri local government area in possession of 101 permanent voter cards. State Commissioner of Police Muhammad Hussein Gumel disclosed this while briefing newsman Shehu Muhammad Detti reports.
Commissioner of Police Muhammad Hussein Gumel said the police acted on credible intelligence and arrested Nasiru Idris of Sabanduri local government area in possession of 101 PVCs, which the suspect could not give account of. Hussein Gumel further said investigations revealed that owners of the cards are not all from Sabanduri local government area, and the police are yet to trace the rightful owners. He therefore calls on those whose PVCs are either missing or misplaced to come to the police headquarters with evidence to claim them.
Part of the commitment of Sokoto State Police Command was supporting the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in conducting free, fair, and credible elections and to ensure the integrity of the electoral processes.
The police commissioner presented the Sultan of Sokoto Award for the best police officer driver to Sergeant Aliyu Muhammad. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Sokoto State Government under Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal says his administration will establish a public service institute in collaboration with the Umaru Ali Shinkafi Polytechnic Sokoto. He disclosed this while flagging off the payment of gratuity to some retired civil servants. Sheikh Muhammad Datti again has details.
Governor Tambuwal, who said the payment of the gratuities running in billions of naira would be on first-come, first-served basis, handed over checks to beneficiaries. He said his administration has settled accumulated gratuities and pension inherited from the previous administrations. On assumption of office in 2015, he directed the payment of gratuity arrears of government and primary teachers from 2000 to 2008, followed by the settlement of another 8 years backlog of gratuity from 2009 to 2017. This payment, which is the third phase, covers the period from March 2017 to date, and the beneficiaries are local government and primary teachers retirees.
This is in line with the administration belief that every citizen of this state deserves a very decent living, especially our senior citizens who have given their best in their lives to the service of our dear state.
The governor said Public Service Institute will be established to build the capacity of civil servants and by extension improve service delivery.
I want to assure you that this administration will remain resolute in building vibrant and virile civil service through the provision of incentives and capacity building initiatives.
A cross-section of the retirees were full of praises to the governor for payment of their entitlements. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto for now. Nationwide continues with Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Sadia. As political parties campaign and other activities continue to build up ahead of 2023 general election, adoption of various strategies in engaging the electorate seems to be on the rise. And all registered APC support groups are now reviewing and propagating their campaign slogan as Operation Deliver Your Polling Unit to All. Saliu Gonara reports.
For this group, now is the time to complement and implement the campaign activities of the APC by coordinating all the registered support groups. Abuja, the nation's capital, played host to the group's coordinators from the North Central Geopolitical Zone for a strategic meeting.
The idea is that we want to take the battle to the polling unit. Of course, election 2023 is at the polling unit. There are no two ways about it. And that is why our slogan is deliver your polling unit.
You will lose or win at the unit level. And I'm happy that the group is committed to ensuring that they deliver their unit at the various, elections.
In every polling unit, just give us 50 votes. That's just what we are doing. It's the slogan we have adopted and we are working on it.
The influx of more political support groups willing to propagate the progressive political ideology through the Tinubu Shetima candidacy, stakeholders here agreed is an advantage. In Abuja, Saliu Gonara, NTA News.
Still on politics, the Borno State chapter of the People's Democratic Party says it is well repositioned to capture power in the 2023 governorship and other seats in the next election in the state. The party chieftains in the state expressed their confidence at a meeting in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf was there.
It's purely a meeting of Borno State PDP leaders, including members of the State Working Committee and the Presidential Campaign Council. Top on the agenda is on how to create a favorable environment in the state for electioneering activities and confronting alleged intimidation of its members.
We are calling on both Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) and all law enforcement agencies to take note,
and we expect them to take good steps.
The PDP governorship candidate in the state advocated for equal opportunity for all political parties to carry out their activities ahead of the 2023 election. The meeting promised members' commitment to play according to the rules before, during and after election. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
As the countdown to the 2023 general elections begin, the Young Progressives Party presidential candidate Malik Ado Ibrahim has again reiterated his vision to reset Nigeria if given the mandate. The presidential candidate stated this at a press briefing in Abuja, giving highlights of his manifesto, leading Nigeria into the fourth revolution, the digital age anchored on a viable economy, stable power, and adequate security are areas he intends to achieve.
That we must go for those three tenets of security, power, and use that to get better jobs. And in those two elements, there are jobs to be created. So I pray that where people are listening and seeing what we're talking about as a party, that the modern changes, progressive changes that YPP wants to bring into play, we're not, again, fighting the government of today. We are trying to get a better tomorrow, and we want to make that very clear to our citizens that
Ado Ibrahim emphasized that his leadership style will be completely inclusive, bold, and representative of all that is great about Nigeria. Citizens Center for Election Monitoring and Observation, a civil society group, says the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) needs to be proactive in checking unguarded utterances from political actors in order not to polarize the polity and scuttle hitch-free elections. Director of the group, Dr. David Israel, gave the indication at a press conference in Abuja. Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports.
To commence the forthcoming 2023 general elections with the state governorship and legislative polls. This will go a long way in ensuring smooth elections and seamless transition, as well as protecting the homeland security.
Going by the number of presidential candidates seeking the mandate of Nigerians to occupy the seat of the president, there is no doubt that the assistance is required to douse tension and conduct hitch-free polls. Citizen Center for Election Monitoring and Observation says to avoid unnecessary bloodletting that usually accompanies elections in Nigeria and deflates needless rerun of elections, INEC should start with Guba and state assembly elections.
Strategies of unleashing terror to deter voters can best be countered by conducting the state elections prior to the presidential and national assembly polls. The teeming masses shall own the process and wholeheartedly participate if the order of elections is tilted in favor of the gubernatorial and state legislative polls that are by far much more closer to them than the federal elections.
The group says previous elections in that sequence were fairer and devoid of heated tensions. Ikechukwu Ndukwe, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency (NOA) has expressed concern over the increased rate of flood disaster in parts of the country, with a renewed commitment to public enlightenment campaign on remediation. This was at a media briefing in Abuja. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Statistics by the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA) indicates that flood disaster ravaging parts of the country has claimed over 600 lives, with 2,400 persons injured, while 1,320,518 persons have been displaced. The statistics also reveal that 2.5 million persons have been affected in one way or the other, with 332,327 hectares of farmlands destroyed totally. 82,052 houses have been partially damaged, while 121,318 houses have been destroyed beyond repairs. The National Orientation Agency is concerned.
In Bayelsa State alone, over 700,000 persons have been displaced in over 300 communities in all the 8 local government areas of the state. And quite disturbingly, even corpses have been washed out from their graves. What needs to be done is for local government and the community leaders to ensure that those whose sources of livelihood were affected are given psychosocial support.
Noting the efforts put in place with regard to the early warning signs by NIMET, yet the flood disaster is inevitable in some states.
Our mandate requires the agency to encourage people to actively and freely participate in discussions and the decisions on matters affecting the general welfare of all Nigerians and indeed our dear country.
However, the agency says it will continue to play its part in public sensitization, ensuring support mobilization to the affected persons and areas through relevant authorities. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
It's still nationwide. We now join Felicia in Jos to bring you more stories from that zone. Hello, Felicia. From that zone.
Join us in Jos. In his administration's continuous efforts to ensure access to quality and affordable drugs to citizens, Governor Simon Lalong has signed into law the Plateau State Drugs and Medical Commodities Management Agency Bill 2022. Priscilla Grumnan reports.
Giving a synopsis of the bill, Commissioner for Justice Chrysanthus Amadu explains that the Drugs and Medical Commodities Management Agency Bill 2022 provides for 11 parts and 50 sections. He says the law empowers the agency to manufacture drugs and other health consumables while ensuring access to quality and affordable drug in all state-owned tertiary, secondary and primary health facilities. While signing the bill into law, Governor Simon Lalong appreciates Plateau State House of Assembly for the speedy passage of the bill, saying the challenge of out of stock for drugs will soon be a thing of the past. The governor expresses optimism that when established, the agency will ensure and maintain quality control.
Benefits are all that you see. Mine is to pray that as we go into implementation, we observe all the rules so that people will enjoy the benefit of this law.
Meanwhile, Governor Simon Lalong received members of the Nigerian Bar Association, Jos Branch, led by its chairman, Izan Awari, who says they were at the government house to appreciate the governor who is doing a lot to improve the judiciary in Plateau State. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Plateau State government has approved more than 1.5 billion naira for the completion of various ongoing projects in the state. This was at a meeting presided over by Governor Simon Lalong at the Government House, Jos. Priscilla Gruna again reports.
Far-reaching decisions taken include approvals of some ongoing contracts, 5-year strategic plan on agriculture, draft bills for the establishment of Plateau State Investments Agency and Gender and Equal Opportunity Commission. While briefing newsmen, Commissioner for Finance, represented by the Permanent Secretary Kenneth Horlong, gives a rundown of projects to be embarked upon within the 3 senatorial zones of the state to the tune of more than 2 billion naira.
Water treatment plan and the original was a groundwater works and designed for water sanitation and hygiene facilities in 4 local governments of the state.
Commissioner for Higher Education Professor Bernard Malo speaks on effort to complete the Lalong Legacy project within a period of 32 weeks. On his part, Commissioner for Justice Chrysanthus Amadu says the proposed bills for the Plateau State Investments Agency and the Gender and Equal Opportunity Commission will give impetus to economic activities and gender rights of people in the state. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. Nationwide continues in Abuja after this break.
The 35th National Festival of Arts and Culture, Ekona Fest 2022, with the theme Culture and Peaceful Coexistence, holds from Monday the 7th to Sunday 13th November 2022 at the National Stadium, National Institute for Sports, Lagos State. Time 10 a.m. daily. The official opening ceremony will take place on Wednesday 9th November 2022. Time 11 a.m. Venue Mobolaji Johnson Arena, formerly Onikon Stadium, Lagos State. Ekona Fest Fest 2022, promoting culture and peaceful coexistence. Otumba Olusegun Urushe OON, Chairman, National Festival Planning Committee, announcer. Media partners: NTA, AIT, LTV, FRCN, Eagle 7, Sports Radio, and Discount Television.
I'm fascinated with the discourse on national monuments and assets and how much is being done to preserve and celebrate
the language issue. We have turned English to become like a pride value in our own cultural values.
Broadcast transfer is not a COVID-19.
Invasion 1897 was a deliberate tactic.
You know, many of these people coming to the open areas now.
These applications, there are terms and conditions.
Of course, it is the union of two people, a man and a woman coming together.
My name is Nambi Odipo.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori.
Good morning, Nigeria. Year after year, they have been informed, educated, and entertained of when you needed information, knowledge, or an escape.
Generation to generation, the Nigerian broadcasting industry has worked tirelessly to serve you.
And now, this service will finally be recognized.
Right? This November, broadcasters all over Nigeria will gather for the maiden edition of the Nigerian Broadcasting Awards, an award ceremony set to reward hard work and unflinching excellence in the broadcast media. They have served and are still serving. It's time to say thank you. This award is organized by the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON. For more details, log on to www.tnawards.ng and follow social media handles at TNB Awards.
Welcome back. The effective utilization of the non-intrusive inspection regime is not only assisting the Apapa Command of the Nigeria Customs Service to check illicit trade and fast-track clearance, but also reducing loss of revenue. This and other measures, the area controller Yusuf Malanta says, contributed to the 30% increase in revenue collected between January and September 2022, in which the command raked in 790 billion naira. Michael Olaleye has more.
Lying here are more than 35 containers with items contravening import and export procedures. But the most disturbing among them are 12 conveying unregistered pharmaceutical products, in which most are either expired or without certification. The customs said they came in from India and Pakistan, but the plus to the anti-smuggling drive of their Apapa Area Command is that its various layers of control, aided by fortified forensic manifest management, makes it easy for illicit trade to be tracked before declaration are lodged.
You should always be guided by the law and regulations of the land.
The zero-tolerant approach of the Apapa Command has not only aided in raking in more than 12 billion naira from export and import infractions within the period under review, but increased revenue generated to the tune of 790 billion naira, showing a markup of 181 billion naira compared to 2021. The controller is optimistic that things will only get better because of the availability of scanning equipment that will block loopholes and enhance security.
If we can optimize our system and the terminal operators can key in with optimum delivery process, I think we can have at least 300 to 400 containers scanned per day.
While advising importers to toe the path of truthful declaration, the controller commended the efforts of the Controller General of Customs for stimulating the change process through the provision of enabling platforms. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The Nigerian military says it will continue to improve facilities at its educational institutions to enhance the welfare of soldiers and officers across the country. The commanding officer, administration, defense headquarters, garrison, Navy Captain Hassan Dogara stated this in a message at the commissioning of a remodeled laboratory project executed by the 2022 alumni of the Army Secondary School, Mogadishu Cantonment, Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has more details.
Brief but symbolic and expected to impact on many positively on the educational system. Class of 2002 alumni of the Army Day Secondary School, Mogadishu Cantonment, Abuja, handing over newly renovated and remodeled chemistry laboratory to the school, commemorating the 20th anniversary of graduating from the institution.
The investment in the school that has been put by your senior colleagues meant that you have no choice but to make sure you excel even better than them. And the only way you could do even better is for you to take advantage of the facility that has been put in place for you.
Focusing on renovating a chemistry lab in the school is to encourage students to develop interest in science as the world moves fast to innovations and artificial intelligence.
The motive behind the actualization of this noble project was born out of our desire as an alumni to give back to our alma mater. It is our belief that the edifice, which is housing the chemistry lab, will encourage the students to venture into the world of sciences.
More of interventions are expected as the alumni continue the celebration. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigerian legendary footballer Henry Nwosu has been in the news of recent over a heart-related ailment. The good news is that the Delta State government is already reaching out to the ex-international with moral and financial support. Tessie Coker reports.
The 59-year-old former midfielder Henry Nwosu has spent most of his career making Nigeria proud. The gifted midfielder was the poster boy and the youngest member of Nigeria's Green Eagles squad that won the 1980 African Nations Cup. He scored the only goal for Nigeria at the 1980 Olympics. However, the news of his ailing condition broke in the media space, with help from well-meaning Nigerians to support. The state government, through the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Mondi Onoye, says it will do everything possible to assist the football star.
But not this expensive baby, got to go. It's a man who has a wonderful conscience, who takes note of what is happening to those who have also, that is why he instructed and being directed. They must come and see him and know how we will contribute to his pick up. I can assure you that the management of this hospital is up and doing and they are equal to the task. Whatever needs to be done must.
The youngest sister to the legend, Kate Kobolo, expressed appreciation. Henry Nwosu was admitted to Asaba Specialist Hospital for a heart-related disease. The State Commissioner for Health was accompanied by Governor Kowa's Chief Press Secretary, Olisai Fajika, in Asaba. Tessie Coker, NTA News.
Although death is inevitable, there are individuals, many who would have wished to live longer. What is important really is living an impactful life worthy of emulation. This was the message at the Memorial Mass in honor of Uzoma Angela Enwegbara, a seasoned teacher held in Lagos. Diana Ajale has the report.
It was a true reflection of a life well lived, as family, friends and close associates from far and near converge on Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church, Lagos, for the Memorial Mass in appreciation to God for the life of their mother, wife, sister and friend, late Uzoma Angela Enwegbara. In his message, Reverend Father Oscar John Obi admonished the congregation to lead good life. The late Uzoma Enwegbara's husband and children described her as a woman who had kind words for everyone who came her way.
For almost 30 something or 40 years we are in marriage, we never had even one single issue. I was expecting her to get annoyed, but every time she's humble, hug me and say, look, my dear, I love you.
She was a peace lover, and she always found the best in people.
There's no one like her. She was humble. She was the glue that kept our family together.
Others who came to pay their last respect eulogized her for being a peacemaker.
She never looked down on anybody.
I encourage them, are part of the family, and we will welcome it. And for us to be here today is to show our support to the family of Mr. Edwin.
From the church to Harbour Point, venue of the reception, celebration of the outstanding virtues of late Uzoma Enwagbara continued. Earlier on, a service of songs was held in her honor, where her loved ones paid glowing tributes. Late Uzoma Angela Enwagbara passed on at the age of 61. She is survived by her husband, Edwin Enwagbara, children and grandchildren. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
May her soul rest in peace. That concludes Nationwide, but before we go, don't forget to join NTA in its campaign against rape and rapists. Thank you for watching. I'm Lydia Odijochi. Good evening.